Back in February, I had the chance to sit down with 3 members of the Steam team, and a few weeks later, Jim Sterling and John Bain were invited down and talked with the Steam team for hours. Thank God for Jim. From the 2 meetings, it became abundantly clear that the Steam team is dead set on improving the overall Steam experience by increasing visibility of good titles and slowly removing the crap. The changes have come much quicker than expected, making the overall Steam experience a bit jarring, with some major changes not even being talked about. So I'm going to be explaining every change to Steam and what you can do to improve your experience under the new rules. On May 2nd, the first major change came to Steam support, used to, quote, improve transparency around users' experience getting support from us. The page includes a graph showing a week's submitted support tickets, and the number of tickets waiting for response. This is along with the numbers on the top 4 most requested support categories, with numbers of each, along with the average wait time of each of the responses. Now, at the end of the post, the future of Steam changes were set, teasing improvements to responses and response times, and linking to the Steam support discussion page. Now, this is important because apparently Valve is reading this and using it for any public comments on any of the changes made to Steam support. So check that out, link down in the description below. The following day, large changes to the Steam gifting system were announced. And out of all of the things that have happened, this was the most controversial. According to the blog, scheduling of gifts can be done months in advance. Declining gifts result in an immediate refund of the gifter, and the region-based gifting limits are removed, unless, quote, there is a large difference in price between the countries. What the post doesn't tell you is that purchasing games to be stored directly in your inventory is completely gone. The implication of this has yet to be completely seen, however, the response has been overall negative. The exact percent that qualifies a major difference in pricing between countries has not been officially announced. However, it only seems to be about 10 to 15%, which accounts for many games between every region. So unless the exchange rate and pricing are almost identical between both parties, cross-region gifting isn't safer, like the post says. It's nearly impossible. Arguments are also being made that this hinders the experience of Steam users in developing countries, due to the price substantially varying between very close-knit regions, forcing players to sometimes purchase within their own regions, resulting in a higher price. The reasoning behind these changes are unknown, but once again, any opinions on these changes can be left in Valve's discussion pages, all of which are down in the description below. Now, 1 week later, on May 8th, changes to the Steam store were announced as well. While making comparisons to how the Dota 2 team improved the matchmaking system, Robin Walker announced a window into the algorithm that determines the way a specific player sees a specific game. This window will list each reason why the game was or wasn't recommended to a specific player. The post then details the next 2 posts the Steam team will be making. One on so-called developers gaming the Steam system for revenue, and another on Steam Direct, and supposedly all the answers to the questions that we have on that system. Now, as of writing, only the first post has been released, and it has to do with Steam trading cards. Essentially, there were people releasing fake or non-existent games on Steam solely for the revenue received from the communities buying and selling the trading cards, along with the generation of keys to be handed off to bots, who farm for the cards to be cashed out on the Steam market. Instead of creating a system where these games would be removed, the Steam team is now shutting off card drops on all games until a, quote, performance metric is obtained, which will be built using, quote, a variety of pieces of data, all aimed at separating legit-made games from fake games and bots. Now, the specifics on this metric have not been shared and probably will never be shared, most likely to keep the fake developers from tricking the system. And all of these official changes seem to be ahead of the 2017 summer sale, which is stated to begin on the 22nd of June and run through the 5th of July. Expect a few more major changes from now until then. And remember, a beta for a new Steam UI is also in the works and may come out this summer.
We hope our plan is probably sometime this summer that we'll have a new client beta that users can opt into, and then we're excited to see what people think about those improvements and get their feedback. So.
As for the unannounced changes, on May 16th, the Steam user forums, the hub for most Steam discussion and home for an incredible amount of guides and information for years, was quietly and quickly killed off. Everything from the site was removed with no warning, leading many deep community members to outrage, wondering why this was done with no warning. The change was so silent that even Valve employees didn't know about it. Matt Wood, in response to a question sent to him on Twitter, stated, "I literally just heard about this afternoon. No idea." After a day, an official response was made on Reddit. Quote, "You and others are right that we failed by not communicating that the forms would go down. Then the team restored access to the entire Steam user forms until June 5th of this year. So, if anyone wants to save anything from the user forms, do it now, because you will not have another chance. It will be completely gone. I am saddened to see these forms go, as I got the idea and start of Valve News Network through these forms, and hopefully someone will archive the thread where I first announced this form. Warning, I'm like 15 when that happened, and I'm pretty juvenile in the forms. Lastly, and this is a smaller story, the Steamworks developer badge has been completely removed, even from Valve employees. This was likely done due to how easy it was to receive one, even if you had nothing to do with Steamworks. So that's not a huge change, but that is something that happened. And apparently the next post we're going to be seeing is on everything that's going on with Steam Direct, and that's going to be its own video. That's big enough for it to be an entire video. If you want to be able to see another video that's really good, I recommend checking out my girlfriend Electra's channel, Electra News Network, where she just put out a Team Fortress 2 and Breath of the Wild video.
Ew, you sneezed on me. You're disgusting.
All right.
You're so gross. You're so freaking nasty, but I would do anything for those calves.
Team Fortress 2 is more related to this channel. I had a hand in creation in both, and I recommend checking them out. She's much funnier than I am. And thank you very much for watching. I'm Tyler McVicker. This is Valve News Network. Have a good day. Adios.